Hi, I'm Elle.
And I'm Amy.
And today we are going to do a video that's been requested, and it is some recommendations for things to do, places to eat and drink, and maybe places to visit while you're in Orlando.
Yeah.
Now, we actually did a couple of blog posts like this on our blog, which is ellandmimi.com. Check it out. We will leave a link below. And the blog post was called Orlando for Grown-Ups, and we had part 1 and part 2. So what we're going to do is just kind of sum up what we put in there and have a little bit of a chat about it. Yeah. We'll insert a little bit of footage as well, because we've got some pictures, a little bit of footage of some of the places that we're going to talk about. So now what we don't want to do is exclude children, because we don't hate children. We don't get us wrong.
Just about.
In fact, we were children once.
We were, believe it or not.
Yes. But what we want to do is to focus a little bit more on kind of more adult things to do, because everyone knows.
I think it's pretty obvious what kids can do in Orlando, but I think that a lot of people, like when there's like couples or like grown-ups that are like, oh, we're going to Florida, it's kind of like, oh, well, why are you going there? To go to Disney World. Like, there's a lot of other things to do, and who cares if you want to go to Disney World and you're an adult? Do whatever you want.
First thing that we're going to talk about is places that you can eat and drink. Now, the first place that we're going to talk about is Emerils, which is on City Walk at Universal, and there are lots of really great places to eat and drink at City Walk, but one of our favourites is Emerils, and we went there last year because it was myself and my husband's 25th wedding anniversary, and for you just got engaged in January, and so we thought, let's have like a nice dinner, push the boat out a little bit. And you'd been at Emerils previously, hadn't you?
We had been before for my birthday the year before. And we really liked it because we watched Top Chef, so we like wanted to go. So we were really impressed. I knew it was somewhere that my mum and dad would love as well. And I think it's somewhere that like is a bit unexpected for somewhere like City Walk.
Yeah, I think
because it's quite kind of more like fine dining.
Yeah, it is, and the food was amazing. The service was outstanding. You literally never had an empty glass.
No, you don't have to ask for anything.
No, you don't. They anticipate that you want something and they're there straight away. The service was amazing. And what was it that you had? Was it gumbo?
Yes. Well, I've had gumbo and jambalaya there, and they always, I think they do like gumbo as like an appetizer, and it's amazing. That is like a must-have if you go, definitely.
Definitely.
Because I think that's like kind of the overall theme, is that kind of like New Orleans style.
It is, because it's that must be where.
I think he is. So it's, I mean, they do like a wide variety of different dishes, and they do like a chef's menu kind of thing as well,
like
you can just kind of. You pick that and it's like a set menu, and then it'll just be like whatever they're making that day kind of thing.
Whatever the fresh ingredients are.
So that's really cool as well.
It's fantastic.
They have a kids menu, children friendly.
There were quite a lot of kids.
There was a lot of kids actually. They are supposed to have kind of like a dress code, but like, to be fair, people are there in their shorts and their vest tops.
And as well, there are 2 Emerils at Universal. One of them is on City Walk, and the other one is actually in one of the hotels. Yeah,
it's in Royal Pacific, and it's called Chop Chop, so it's more of like an Asian inspired menu. I've never been there, but that's the next place that I'd like to try, really.
And the other place on City Walk that we'll mention is Margaritaville, because again, I think that although it's super kid friendly, it is still quite good for adults as well. If there's a group of you or a couple of you, because they've got music on, there's usually a guitarist singing, and that's really nice for their like ambience. And we usually like to grab a couple of appetizers, have some cocktails, and the food is amazing, but we never really get like a big meal. We've made that mistake before. We made that mistake before, so it's another really good place to go, so definitely recommended.
So the next one is something that a lot of my friends recommended to me, and then I took my mum and dad there, and it's Teeth Neighborhood Grill, and that's in like the Metro West area. So for people staying at Disney, it's like a little little bit of a drive, but if you're in like the Universal area, it's not very far at all.
International
or an iDrive,
Perfect,
yeah. And it's basically like a really cool like kind of bar grill restaurant, and they have a bit of everything. Sometimes have live music on. They have tons of beers. So they have a really big menu. They do like specials where it's like buy one get one free, or like ladies night. But the food is actually amazing.
It is.
So they do, their like kind of speciality is burgers. And I mean like burgers.
They're
like
gigantic.
But every kind of burger you could think of, like anything on it. They do like really nice to do like tater tots, sweet potato tots.
So good.
And they do a burger that's like in between two Krispy Kreme donuts, which I've never tried. One of my friends has had it though. It's just like a really cool place. The food's really different and everything's really good. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit for a table, but it's worth it. It's like literally like in a plaza in between like a ton of apartment complexes, so it's normally quite busy because everyone around there goes.
Big either.
No, it's not very big. They do have a really nice outside area if you're not going to be eaten alive by mosquitoes, but we do, so we prefer to sit inside. But it's just really nice. It's got a nice atmosphere.
I feel like it's one of those places that locals tend to go to, so it's a little bit more off the beaten track and not in such
well,
a
that's what we thought,
kind of area.
but we were more active, but we do kind of look at the DIB, the forum there, and we saw a couple of people in the last year starting to go. I think like one person went, did a trip report, and then a few other people thought, oh, let's go and try it. So I've seen a few of those people try to do, they have like a challenge where it's like a ridiculous burger. And
if you eat it, you get it free.
And it's like $40 if you don't, because you're not going to finish it.
No one can
But
finish it.
yeah, I've seen quite a few people go now. I think it's getting more and more popular. But that's one of those places where if you want to try something different, it's like a really cool place to go.
Which leads us quite nicely into our next one, which is quite similar.
Yeah, it is. It's Yellow Dog Eats, which is in like the Windermere area. So it's a little bit of a drive, but you drive through like tons of fancy houses and stuff, don't you?
Nice.
And it's literally in like a historical building, and they have like a little backyard area, and you go in and it's tiny, like it is tiny inside. But they basically do like barbecue food. So it's like pulled pork, brisket, chicken, and they do like everything, like sandwiches, or just like dinner plates. And it's a similar kind of thing to take, where it's just like a load of food like shoved on top of meat. But it's amazing, really nice, and like a really cool place to go, because it's so unusual.
It's so different.
And you're allowed to take your dogs there.
They encourage it, don't
they encourage you to take your dog, and like the walls are just covered in pictures of people's dogs. So it's like one of those places that's really random. They also have a bar, and they serve a lot of beers as well. So it's quite popular now. I would say a lot of people go. Sometimes it's hard to get a seat again, but normally you're okay to sit outside, and they have like kind of like a mini van, like a mini coupe van, don't they? And it's like cut out so you can sit in there and stuff, and everyone's always got really cute dogs. So, but the food is amazing. If you look it up, we'll like link the websites of all the places. It's definitely one of those places to go that's like very different. Okay, I've got one that wasn't on the list, but now I've found out why. Because I feel like we have to tell you about this, and it's very popular.
In the interest of full disclosure, I have to tell you.
It is very popular with people who live in Orlando.
And we're going to tell you, but you must promise not to tell anyone else.
And it is Four Rivers Smokehouse. There's a few in different areas now. We always got the one in Winter Park. Now, I first went to Four Rivers like 5 years ago, and they've moved locations since, but it was literally like one room on the side of a road, and there was like no parking, and they just do like the best barbecue food you have ever tasted in your life. They have moved to a bigger like restaurant now because it was so popular, but again, you queue like around the building to get in, depending on what time you go,
and it's worth it.
But it is worth it. So you go in, and it's kind of a bit like Subway. Like You pick what you want and you go down the line.
You're not selling it here. You're not selling.
That's how I say it. Or like Moe's, if you've ever been to Moe's. It's where you kind of say what you want. Like if you want like a brisket sandwich or whatever, and they literally have slabs of meat. They carve the meat off, put it in a bun, then you go down, you say what sides you want, and then you go down, you get a drink and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a conveyor belt system. Maybe that's better than saying like Subway.
Yeah.
And it is just the most amazing food. They have this sauce that you could just like
They've
drink.
bottled it now and they sell it.
But I will tell you, it's like Nando's.
Yeah.
You can buy Nando's sauce, but it's not the same as the one that's in Nando's. It's very similar, but it's not the same, so you still have to go back.
Yeah.
That's what they did. So there's a few in different areas now in Florida, but that's the one we like. And you might have seen it if you watched our vlogs, because we had a day where we went there.
Yeah. And they've also got a dessert bar.
They do. That was a new thing that they put in when they moved. They have like it's called the sweet shop. So they make their own ice cream. You can pick ice cream and a cupcake, and they will blend it together and make a milkshake out of it. And they do red velvet cheesecake ice cream, which is just unreal. And I will tell you, there is no room for anything.
No, there isn't.
If you even manage to eat all the food you get initially, but you have to get red velvet cheesecake ice cream.
And the red velvet cupcakes are outstanding.
Yeah.
So take one home with you.
Because you think if someone's so good at doing one thing, they can't do dessert just as well.
Yeah, but they do.
But they do somehow. So that is the one place that we have to go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a drive, again, a lot more of a drive than the other places we mentioned, but 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Just don't tell everyone.
Yeah.
Because we wait in a big enough line.
The next thing that we're going to recommend to you is a place on Universal City Walk, and that is Pat O'Brien's. And Pat O'Brien's has, I think they do food actually, but I've never eaten
I don't think anybody eats there.
No, we don't go for the food. They do really good drinks. It's a good night spot to go to. So they do great drinks, cocktails, gigantic cocktails about this big in a fancy glass that you can take home when you've finished, called a hurricane.
That's what they're famous for.
They are, yeah. And they also have a dueling piano bar where you've got two pianists who have facing pianos, and you just keep feeding them song requests all night, and they'll continue to play. They'll play anything you want. You can test them with anything and they will be able to play it. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Even if they've never heard of it before, they will get their iPad open and they'll sight read the music from their iPad. They are amazing, and it's a fantastic place to go. Just hang out with your friends, have a few drinks, sing along, listen to the music. We absolutely love it. Can't wait to go back there. It's about a restaurant now, and that's Sana, which is at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
And although it's not, although it's Disney, it's probably the closest that you're going to get to like an Indian type of food, also kind of African Indian inspired. We really love Indian food, and one of the things that we really miss when we're away is Indian food. So when we discovered this restaurant, it's very close to like an Indian inspired menu, and it's a beautiful place to eat as well, because if you get a seat near the window, if you're lucky enough, you've got views over the grounds where all the animals are wandering, and it's such a beautiful place to have dinner, and it's not too pricey. I think it's not quite reasonable. And the food is really good, really good. The one thing that you have to get if you go there is the like appetizers, which you get lots of different breads, and then you get, I think we had 9.
I think you can get 3, or you can get 9. It's like dips to have, and you pick 3 different breads. And that is like a must-have. Definitely
start with that. It's delicious.
I would say that like out of all the Disney places, you can either go one of 2 ways. It's either very kind of children friendly, and it's very just like burgers and chicken and mac and cheese, and you end up paying a lot more for that, or it's signature dining, and you're paying a hell of a lot more, but the food is top restaurant quality. This hits somewhere nice, which is right in the middle. It's a good price point for what the food is, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. One of those places where I want to go back all the time.
Yeah, definitely. The last place on our food and drink list is a place at Epcot. Now, we thought a lot about Epcot because there are so many places that you can eat and drink in Epcot, as you know.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to focus on was somewhere that maybe is a little bit more adult orientated rather than somewhere that you would take all of your family to. And that is in the Mexico Pavilion, and it's called La Cava del Tequila. Yay! And if
tequila bar inside the pyramid for everyone else.
Yeah. So if you go in, you go down the steps, and on the right hand side there's a little, kind of like a little cave, isn't it? It's very small, but it's worth hanging about if you're waiting for a table, and go in, have a cocktail, have a tequila, and just get some chips and salsa and guacamole, and just sit there and just enjoy the air conditioning and having a bit of a chill and a chat. It's such a lovely place, and it's kind of hidden away, I feel like.
I think a lot of people just go to get a margarita because they are obviously better quality and stronger than the ones they do out at the cart. So a lot of people just get a drink to take away because it is quite small and it isn't a lot of tables. But we had the chips and salsa and stuff there, and it was really good. And they will refill the chips if you ask. Another tip.
So start handing that basket back to the server and get the refill. So, okay, moving on to one of our favourite topics, and that is shopping. We like to shop, let's make no bones about it.
Everywhere, anywhere.
And our favourite place to shop has got to be Mall at Millennia. We love to go to Mall at Millennia. If you've never been before, and if you're new to Orlando, you probably haven't, and it was probably the last mall that we ever went to, because we did the Florida Mall, we did all the outlets, but we'd never been there initially. And when we discovered it, it's the place that we go every single time, and multiple times. Now, it is the home of the Cheesecake Factory as well, which is another good reason to go, because the Cheesecake Factory is amazing. But for shopping, it's got a bit of everything. It's got your high-end stores, it's got your designer brands, it's got your department stores, and it's got your Forever 21s and your Sephora.
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret,
You've got the Pink store. They've just got a Lily Pulitzer store as well. They have a Hollister and Abercrombie. They've got everything basically. They have everything that you like to do in the Florida Mall, but then they've also got high-end stores as well. I find that like one side's more of the like high street, and the other side has like Chanel, Louis Vuitton. They have like a Michael Kors. They have the Bloomingdale's. So it's got everything basically,
and they've got a really big food court, which has got
really good food court.
Some really good places to grab a quick lunch as well.
They've also got like a Johnny Rockets and a California Pizza Kitchen. So if you want to sit down somewhere that's more restaurant-y but isn't Cheesecake Factory, then there's somewhere in between as well.
Yeah, definitely. So if you've not been, then definitely head over there. And the last shopping place we'll mention, because you know, I think everyone knows about the Florida Mall, so let's just skip over that.
But the Florida Mall has gotten a really good new food court. That's something to note.
Yes, it has actually. With the Five Guys.
Five Guys.
The other place that you probably have heard of, and we'll just touch on a little bit, is Premium Outlets. The outlet shopping in Orlando is amazing. They've got 2 premium outlets. One of them is at the top of International Drive, and the other one is kind of just off the I-4. And I would go to them both because they both have different things to offer. And
I used to prefer the one at the top of I-Drive. But the one that's closer to Disney now is kind of up their game. They have a Forever 21, and they have a Saks Off 5th as well now. So they've kind of on par with the other one now, I would say.
But definitely worth checking them both.
Definitely.
They both have slightly different things to offer, so it's definitely worth having a look and see if you can pick up some designer.
Sometimes they have some really good deals as well. Actually, that's one more thing I was going to say, is that if you are visiting Millennia, just outside of their like car park surrounding, they have like an IKEA, they have an Ulta, and they also have a Nordstrom rack, which is really good if you like handbags, shoes,
clothes.
They have they do
watches,
often have
jewelry.
they have Topshop things that they get that are very cheap. They have a lot of like big name brand bags and stuff. So it's worth going there because they have a ton of stuff for very, very cheap. So if you're like into like the outlet shopping, that's somewhere really cool to go that you probably wouldn't even realise was there.
Good call.
You're welcome.
A couple of places that we would recommend you visit if you want to have a day out and a bit of fun. The first one is the airboat ride at Boggy Creek. Now again, this is something that we hadn't done for like the first few times that we were there. We kind of looked at it and thought, no, I don't think we're going to really like that. And then what happened one year was we actually got free airboat ride tickets when we booked our park tickets with I think Orlando Ticket Deals it was, and they threw in a couple of vouchers for us. So we thought one Sunday we were over there for 3 weeks, and we thought, well, let's just go and see what it's like. And we really loved it. It was so good. It was such good fun, and we would definitely recommend that you do it. I mean, again, we're not excluding kids here. The kids can go too, and the kids would love it, but adults will really love it too. I mean, you know, the two of us, you didn't go, me and Dad, me and your dad went, and we had a really good day. It was such a lot of fun, so definitely do that if you can. If you get free tickets, then
even better,
absolutely. So
even if you're thinking about it, that's why when you book your tickets for parks, it's worth shopping around and seeing what the freebies are, because they throw in a lot of stuff. And you're always going to get like a $10 Planet Hollywood voucher everywhere you book. So don't be swayed by that. Like, look around, because we just got our tickets, and well, they got their tickets, and we got the Planet Hollywood offer, and it was an what's it called? An eight dime
play card, which gives you
like a discount card basically, which is valid basically everywhere. So it's one of those perks that you might just toss in the bin and not think anything of.
So even if it's a few pounds more from one site to get your tickets, have a look and see what they're including, because you might get a few extras thrown in as well.
Like an airboat ride.
So definitely do that. The other thing is kind of like one thing, but like two things.
In fact, kind of that whole area. The whole area is called Orlando 360.
Yes, I think that's right.
Orlando 360.
Basically the Orlando Eye and the surrounding
area around there. We are very lucky in that we have a very close friend who works in that area. So they were kind enough to take us for the day, and we did Madame Tussauds, and we went on the Orlando Eye, and we also went to the aquarium as well. Sea Life Centre. The Orlando Eye was really good. I mean, I've never been on the London Eye.
No, I haven't, no.
Probably wouldn't be doing it again, because it's really scary.
I would totally do it again.
No, see, I will go on any roller coaster, but that like did scare me. It's not for someone who's afraid of heights.
It's really good though.
It's intimidating because you're just like in a glass box in the middle of the air. But it's really cool, especially if you like that kind of thing as well. They have like some little videos and like interactive screens where you can find out what things are and stuff. And then we went to Madame Tussauds, where I mean, I've been to one in London like a million years ago, but it was really fun, and it's just like a good laugh.
The thing that I liked about that as well was, I think there was a time a few years ago that Madame Tussauds was very much, everything was behind rope and you couldn't really do anything. You just kind of walked around and were like, oh,
now it's kind of like one big photo opportunity,
and it's very interactive as well. And they encourage you to interact with.
They have like little things set up where you can go and like sit next to people, or like they're posed in certain ways so that you can kind of get next to them.
And we really enjoyed the Sea Life Centre as well.
We did. I would say like that was the kind of least important thing out of that area.
The other two were,
but again, if you have kids, they would probably love it. But I would say if you're going somewhere like SeaWorld, there's no point paying to go there.
No,
because you're going to be able to see like the fish and animals and stuff that are at SeaWorld basically. But that whole area is really cool.
It's really good, and I don't know whether a lot of people kind of pass that by and think, oh no, I'm not going to do it. Well, I mean, if you're thinking like that, then we would definitely say change your mind and go, because it really is a lot of fun. Just spend an afternoon and you'll be able to take everything in, and it's such a lot.
There's like a few shops, and we went to Tap House.
Yes, I think it was called.
Which is great. It's basically like a beer bar kind of place. They do like tons of beer. But they do really nice food as well, so we went there. They also have a Shake Shack now, and we went to the one in London. I don't know whether it's better in America. And they have like a ton of like really cool things like that. They have some like bars and things. So it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, it is definitely good. So we're going to finish off with a few places that we think that you should visit. And some places you might have already been to, you might know all about, but hopefully one or two of them you don't. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the town of Celebration, which we first went to probably about like 4 or 5 years ago maybe, and I read about it in the magazine, I think, or possibly online, and I saw some pictures and thought, oh, that looks so pretty. I think that me and Dad would really like that. And so a few years ago we had a drive along and we just totally fell in love with it. And if you've not been before, then definitely take a drive along and have a look, have a little wander around. It's on a beautiful lake. There are places that you can pop in and have lunch, or we particularly like to go and get breakfast there and sit by the lake, have a little walk around. It's so beautiful. And then drive around all the houses and just pretend that you own one of them, because the houses are so fantastic. I think if I could live anywhere in the world, I would live in Celebration, and I think I've already picked my house, in fact. So definitely worth a look if you've not been before. The other place is Winter Park, which again, until last year I hadn't been. You've been?
It's kind of got a similar feel. It's just like there's a street called Park Ave where it's just like a quaint little shopping street. They have a ton of nice like little kind of cafes and restaurants, and like if you go on like a Sunday like early afternoon, like you can't move, because like everyone goes there for like brunch and to walk their dogs and stuff. They have loads of little boutiques,
very little independent
with really
boutiques.
nice clothes, or like little like knickknacks and things, don't there?
Crafts and things.
It's just a really nice place to kind of walk around, and there's a lot of nice places to kind of sit outside as well. So I really love it there. You can spend a really long time there. They have a really good museum as well, and it's like, I think it's just like a donation to get in. And I've been there before, and that was really good as well.
Yeah, so somewhere else. If you've never been, Winter Park is a good bet. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about Boardwalk area at Disney. And a lot of people probably know, definitely a lot of people who are watching this will know about Boardwalk. Because I know that most of you are going to be real Disney buffs, but there are probably a lot of people who don't know about the Boardwalk area, because unless you're staying in the hotels that surround the Boardwalk area, you probably don't really know about it. And I know for the longest time we didn't know about it. And it's definitely somewhere that is so lovely to have a little walk around, especially if you're going to Epcot for the day. Just break away from the crowds and have a little wander around there on an afternoon.
Or even better, park there. And then you don't have to deal with all the Epcot parking. It's not that parking there is that much closer to the entrance. It's just kind of a nicer walk. There's a few little things there, and it's really pretty. They have like a really nice bakery, and they have like a sweet shop with ice cream, and they do have like a couple of bar areas, and they have some like more signature dining restaurants, and they have this really nice place that we used to like to go before we went to work, and I think it's called Big River Grill, but I cannot remember. But it's really nice. They brew beer there, I believe, and it's like a little kind of like cafe restaurant, and you can sit outside on the boardwalk area, and it's just really lovely. It's a really nice place, and you can walk all the way around from the boardwalk to Yacht and Beach Club as well, and kind of up past the Swan and Dolphin and come all the way around in a circle. And
you can actually hire those little...
Yeah, you can hire those little kind of bikes things where you can like sit in the back and then you can like ride the bike.
What are they called?
I've got no idea.
Someone tell us what they're called.
Those bike things. Yeah, so if you, that's really cool as well.
And let's not forget Beaches and Cream.
Yeah, so if you walk around to the beach club, they have a really cool place called Beaches and Cream, which is like kind of like a 50s style, like ice cream parlour. So they do food, but the main attraction is the ice cream. And they do, I'm sure you guys all know about the kitchen sink. It's just a load of stuff in a bowl.
If you don't, I think it's probably more about the actual experience than the taste.
Yeah, because I feel like once you get halfway down, everything's just melted anyway, and it's just
and you probably is so full you want to die.
So that's a cool thing to do as well. But that's a really nice Disney area that's kind of a little bit different.
In our Epcot vlog, we took quite a lot of footage of the boardwalk area, which we'll just link down below as
I will say one thing that I think is getting better is Downtown Disney, or Disney Springs now. They're kind of transitioning it to be a lot more grown up. And it's reminding me a bit more of the way that California's Downtown Disney is. It's more of a shopping centre. There's tons of brands, tons of shops, tons of restaurants, and it does have Disney things as well. So I think they're kind of making it more for everyone and not just for someone who wants to go into like a giant Disney store. So I'm excited about that because they're getting a Sprinkles, which is amazing.
When is that opening?
I don't know. I think
they've talked about it for like 2 years.
Yeah, well. But yeah, they even have some really cool places that are already open. They're getting a Sephora, which is amazing. So that'll be really good as well. So I'm excited to go back there because last year when we were there, they had more stuff had opened to when we were there the time before. So obviously it's a mess at the moment because there's just walls everywhere. But in the end, hopefully it'll be really good.
So I think that's about it. I think we've talked enough for today. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. We hope that you've got a few hints and tips of things to do. And certainly I don't profess to be an expert by any means, but Mamie actually worked out in Orlando for like 4 years on and off, and is married to a Floridian person. And who lives in Orlando, and so I think that we've got quite a good insight now. And if you've got any questions, then just leave them down below or tweet us. And
if you have any tips for us,
please,
then let us know.
We would love to
we like to have those sneaky tips.
We're always looking for
all places you recommend to eat, because it's always cool to know what other people like.
We're always looking for different recommendations, so just leave them below. So we'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.